So in today's video, I wanted to sit down and talk about how you as a real estate agent can make millions just through paid ads as a real estate agent. And the reason I say this with so much confidence is that it's the same exact systems that we've used and developed to help sell over 300 million worth of real estate into the market. The same systems we use to sell out that building right behind me for our clients. And the majority of all of those sales that we've done have happened through paid ads. And like anything else, if you want paid ads to work for you, you need to understand the basics and the fundamentals for you to understand the concepts of how the zone works. Because without understanding the basics, you are never going to be able to be profitable and never be able to see results. So if I can simplify and break down how paid ads could be successful for you and how you can be profitable with running paid ads, it would look something like this. Step one is generating attention and capturing lead information. We're going to need to be able to capture lead information into our funnel. As soon as we capture that information, they're going to be added to our list. And once they're inside our list, inside our database, and basically all that means is a way for us to contact these people, we can start connecting with them. And once we start connecting with them and building up a relationship and building some rapport, then we can go into setting an appointment. It's just 3 basic phases: capture attention, connect with those leads, close them to an appointment. And the 4th thing that most people don't do is cultivating your database, right? Nurturing those leads into sales. Because most agents and myself had the mindset of like, I want to run ads, I want to get leads, and I want to go on an appointment. The problem with that is that 97% of the leads you generate are not going to want to go on an appointment right away. You need to build trust with those people, you need to show value to those people, and in order to do so, what you need to be doing is cultivating, nurturing, and working on that database every single day. So if you're missing any of these 4 things, your paid ad systems or any type of lead generation is not going to work. So the 6 things that I'm going to break down in today's video are basically all of the skills and all of the things I've learned through my experience in the past 6 years working in real estate marketing. And I'm going to break down why they're important, what you should do, and how they've helped us get to the point that we're at today. First thing is attention. If you want to be able to sell more homes and close more deals, it all starts with attention. Think about it. The more eyes you have on you, the more eyes you have on your listing, the higher the chances of you actually getting the deal done. It's a simple maths game. Once you understand your numbers and you know how many leads it typically would take you to sell a specific property, then you can just reverse engineer it. So the question is, how can you get attention? And not just how can you get attention, how can you get the right attention? No matter which technique you use to actually get attention, all of these things are relevant. But the first thing you're going to want to do is understand, who are you actually selling to? Who is your dream client? The only way to create good ads that get attention is by understanding who you're trying to sell to, right? If you go on Facebook, if you open up Instagram, if you open up LinkedIn, there are a million ads all trying to do the same thing. Everyone's just focused on trying to get your attention. So how can your ads stand out? But before thinking about doing any lead generation, you really need to understand, who are you selling to, who is your ideal client, and understanding everything about them. Get out a piece of paper, open up your computer, and write down everything. Write down their beliefs, write down their motivations, understand why they're selling, understand their pain points, understand where they stay and what they do and who they speak to, understand what they consume. You really need to understand everything about your ideal client. Because the only way you're going to create an ad that actually shouts out to them and gets their attention is by really understanding the pain points they're suffering, the motivations they have to actually buy or sell their home. Once you create your ads, you can really understand what would make them stop. What would make them stop and click and engage with your ad and create content that's relevant to them. Think about it for a second. Think about how different it would be trying to sell to a first-time buyer versus selling to a property investor, right? Their motivations, their beliefs, their systems, everything's completely different. So if you try to create an ad that's speaking to everyone, nobody's going to click it. But if you really understand the pain points of a first-time buyer, and you can press into those pain points and really understand what will make them stop, what's frustrating them in the day, then you can create content that's relevant to them. But before doing anything, make sure you really understand exactly who you're trying to sell to. Second step is creating offers and lead magnet for immediate response. Now that you've understood who your dream client is, the second step to do is, how can I create an ad that will elicit response? How can I create an ad that will shout out to my dream client, that will stop them, that will make them want to engage in? So whenever you're coming up with a new creative or a new ad or a new idea or a new offer, what you're going to want to do is always put yourself in the position of the person you're trying to reach and understand, would this stop them in their tracks? Would this make them want to click? And if the answer is no, then keep working on that. So look, let's imagine a scenario. You're a first-time buyer and you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, whatever you do, and you come across an ad. And the first ad is, here's a link to an open house. Come visit on this date. right? Even if the house is exactly what you're looking for, it's really not going to stop you in your tracks because it's not really engaging. Now, imagine another ad that says, these are the 5 best homes for first-time buyers that are all applicable for government grants that can help you save 10,000 euros that are within a budget of 200,000 to 300,000. See, if I'm a first-time buyer and I see that ad, I'm immediately going to want to click on it because that person has created value in the marketplace. That person saved me time. He understands what I'm looking for. He understands I don't have a big budget. He understands I'm looking for any grants and deals I can do to actually get me the home. And it's all been done for me. So obviously that ad's going to get much more engagement than a random open house that might be the property I'm looking for, but not really going to stop me in my tracks. So you always need to focus on how can I create value in this marketplace? How can I put out content into the marketplace that people are going to want to click on and engage with, and that speaks out and calls out your dream buyer? Now, the third thing you want to focus on is that first impressions matter. Whenever you get engagement in your ads, the way you actually speak to those leads and the first impressions they have on you is going to be the difference between them actually speaking to you or you getting ignored. And the majority of the time, most people get ignored because they don't know this skill about how to actually engage a lead to convert them into an appointment. And most people get this wrong is because they're in the frame of mind of trying to sell on. You run an ad, they get a lead, okay, let's go on an appointment. And the problem with that is that everybody's doing the same thing and you just hit barriers of people having sales resistance. People don't want to deal with people who are constantly trying to sell them. If you focus on coming into this with the frame of mind is how can I actually build a relationship and how can I provide value to this lead rather than just try to sell and go on an appointment, and that will completely change the way you work. So the whole idea here is focusing on first impressions to get engagement first. Ask open-ended questions, understand what they're going through, understand what they're exactly looking for, and then based on their answers, then you can figure out if it's worth selling or not. And look, the best way to get results here is to have scripts ready. You need to know exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. If you don't have a script ready, you're not going to know what to say. And when a potential buyer or seller comes up with an objection, you're not going to know how to handle it. Fourth thing to focus on is how to cultivate your database. If you're just starting with lead generation, as strange as this sounds, you should be focusing on trying to sell on list more homes, and you should just be focused on how can you build up your database. Because that database for you is your only asset you own as a real estate agent. The size of your database is basically the deciding factor of if you're going to be successful as an agent or if you're not. If you take a look at every millionaire real estate agent, the one thing they'll tell you is that they have a database of leads that they can contact whenever they want, and a database of leads that they actually work on every single day. Because without it, you're always starting from scratch. You're always looking for your next lead. You're always worrying about where the next lead is going to come from. But if you have a list of people who have shown interest in the past that you've built relationships with, that's going to be a superpower. And that's what's going to enable you to have consistent results on a monthly, daily, and weekly basis. So in basic ways to understand this is that the more people you have at the top of your funnel, the more people you have in your database, the more people you're going to be able to sell and list more homes. And one mistake I made early on in my career was not understanding that it's not about having people in your database. It's about how well are you nurturing those people into actual sales. Because you can have a database of 1,000 leads, but if you're not doing the right things to actually contact those leads, provide value to those leads, and show you're an expert in your market, then it's pretty much useless. What you should be doing is understanding how can I provide value to my database, and how can I become top of mind for whenever they're looking to buy or sell a home, I'm the first person they think of. And the way you do that is by lead nurturing on a consistent basis and having touch points with all of the people inside the database. Now, the fifth thing to focus on is how can you close to an appointment? The end goal with paid ads is to close more deals, and the only way you can close more deals is by setting more appointments. So the whole game plan here is how can I run ads that speaks to my target audience? How can I then engage that lead and start a conversation? How can I actually get that lead to an appointment? And then how can I actually send that lead? And it's really hard to explain this to most people that each and every phase has different skills you need to apply and different skills you need to learn. And it's the main reason why most people give up with paid ads. Because they think, okay, let me run an ad, I got the lead, yay, finish. No, that's not the way it works. And the reason why you're blaming the market, the reason why you're saying these leads suck, and you're blaming it on Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever it may be, is the fact that you don't have the skills yet to understand what it takes to convert a cold lead to a booked appointment. Because each phase we spoke about has different skills you need to learn. Most agents will skip all of the steps we're talking about and go straight to, let's go on an appointment. And the person's just going to ignore them, they're going to get ghosted, and they're going to complain. Now, the last step is understanding your numbers. In order to be successful in any market you're in anything you're doing, whether it's trying to lose weight, whether it's trying to generate leads, whether it's trying to close more deals, whatever it may be. If you're not tracking your numbers and you don't understand the metrics and your conversion rates, you are never going to be able to be successful, because you're never going to understand where the bottlenecks in your business are. The whole idea is, once you understand your numbers, you can think like an investor rather than just throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks. With the right data, you can understand and break down what's working for you, what's not working for you, and the things you need to be focusing on in order to fix those problems. Because running paid ads and growing a business or doing whatever you want to do is all progress. It's understanding what's stopping you from getting to the next level. It's constantly optimizing those bottlenecks in order to get to the next phase. From a high level point of view, the main numbers you need to be tracking as a real estate agent running paid ads is simple. It's how much money are you spending on ads? How many leads are you generating? How many of those leads engaged with one of your contact and reach out systems? How many of those engaged leads actually set an appointment with you? How many of those people who set an appointment with you actually showed up for the appointment? And how many of those did you actually convert into a deal? Because if you can understand all of these things, you basically have a formula to success. You can bring down and understand, listen, I'm running an ad, but nobody's engaging me. No one's picking up the phones, no one's answering my messages. That's what my problem is. Let me optimize those things. Let me learn the skills it takes to actually engage a deal. It could be you setting 100 appointments a month, but you're not managing to close any deals. That's where your bottleneck is. It's your sales process. It's what you're doing on these listing appointments. So if you're not doing this, you are never going to be able to be successful. You are never going to be able to understand how much money in is versus how much money out. You're never going to understand your return on investments. You're going to see things as a waste of time, and you're going to blame it on every other excuse to come up with. But in actual fact, it comes down to you understanding your numbers and what you should be doing on a daily basis in order to actually hit those numbers and hit your goals. And that's today's video. If you want access to the exact ads we run, the scripts we use, the tracking sheets we use, everything we spoke about in today's video, I'm giving away everything for free in my free community. All you have to do is click the link in the bio, join the community, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next week.